Brilliant. Well, it's excellent to be here, and thank you for inviting me. Yes, 40 years in energy management, and I've seen a lot of changes in that time. Many have been excellent. Some things haven't changed, and it's quite interesting that energy technology hasn't changed a lot in that time. All the stuff that we regard as new technology, most of it's been around for a very long time in a different form. But retail, I'm delighted to be here associated with this project. I've worked with about 10 major retailers in the last 15 years, and it's been always a fascinating industry to be in. And one of the reasons is that the people are so enthusiastic who work in retail, and that's what I really like about the sector. What I'd like to say briefly is a bit about I'm here wearing the hat of the Major Energy Users Council, who are a body that have been around for 26 years. The chairman is a guy called Andrew Bainbridge, and he's very passionate about behaviour change, as he used to work in that field back in the 80s, one of the pioneers in the energy industry in behaviour change. And we're working on a programme here, Saving Energy Through People, and it's a behaviour change programme. So I just want to briefly mention that and one or two other things, because I know time is short.
This is also a slight test on who speaks PC the best.
Right. Give up on that. Right. The programme objectives we can see here, and essentially what we're doing with this programme, which Andrew asked me to lead, is to use some of the resources within the MEUC, and Marion Behaviour, my colleague who's here today, and I've been running this programme for about 18 months. And what we do is get together a group of large energy users. If you add up the energy bills of the people participating at the moment, it amounts to £130 million per year, so they're large energy users. None of them are in retail. I'd love to have a group of 3 retailers doing this programme, and then we could benefit from that. So if anybody's interested from the retail sector, that's great. The idea is not to be prescriptive, but to design and run your own campaign, because that enables people to come up with something that is relevant to their culture, to their aspirations, to the barriers they face, and to the opportunities that are in front of them. So it's very much tailored. And the other element that we like is that there's a peer contact through workshops and other meetings where people in the same industry can honestly share with each other the experiences they're having and benefit from one another. So that's the idea behind it. And the programme features are basically, we do an initial visit typically. We have 3 workshops. And after the first workshop, people go away and develop a campaign strategy plan that is based upon their organisation with some help from us. And then what happens is they send that back to us, we review it in detail, give them feedback, they then come up with another draft, and at the second workshop, they present that to their peers, and the peers then critique it and say, but what about this? And have you not thought about the other? Or, oh, I like that, I think I might do something like in mine. And so the idea is that people really benefit from that. And then the third workshop is basically a progress workshop. And they typically spread about 4 or 5 months apart. So the whole thing happens over the period of about a year. And we have a toolkit that's available full of resources to save people having to start from scratch on everything that they do. And then what we do is that Marion and I then provide on-site support, typically 3 days over a period of time, to give support to people in whatever form they want it, and that comes in various shapes and forms. And then there is remote support as well. And then once a year we're having an annual conference. This year it's on the 9th of December, and we're delighted to have Malcolm McCulloch. Where's Malcolm? Oh, at the back. Thank you for coming. I'm glad you're keeping that date in your diary. So what we're doing there is getting all past participants together in order to benefit from their experiences to date. And so we have a mix of people there. These are some of the participants at the moment. As I mentioned, some of them are very large energy users, like the water companies, typically between 20 and 65 million pounds a year energy bills. And the behavioural side of it is really important, and that's why they're involved in this sort of project. And even the University of Birmingham, so maybe the University of Oxford ought to sign up to this. You know, here we are talking about saving energy. Yeah, okay, I need to pack in a moment. But Retail Energy People Matrix, there is a handout. Have we got it available? Everybody got a copy? Just to say that this matrix essentially is something I developed for the retail sector. It's got 6 columns, and the idea is that each person looks at where they are on each column. They basically put in a profile. It comes out like this, or whatever it is, and it shows the relative strengths and weaknesses in terms of behaviour change. And we use that as a little tool just to get people thinking about it. And when people do it in organisations, you often find that people feel it in a subjective way rather than objectively. So if you get a group of people together, you tend to find out what the reality actually is. And the first responsibility of a leader is to define reality, which is what we're trying to do. Just a couple of last things before I finish. You typically get this sort of profile in retail, and the 3 key areas to look at is base load, at the top there, trading, and then the shoulders. And each of them are quite different things. And the shoulder is where you've got staff in the store but no customers. And what we do is look at those profiles and then use that data, as Catherine was saying, in order to work out what strategies are important in terms of behavioural change and what people can do. Another thing I've come up with, working with a lot of retailers, is to look at the way they benchmark. And I came up with this benchmark, watts per square foot, where it's taking into account the trading hours in the shoulder and in the trading period, because that actually obviously should have a big impact on what your energy consumption is. And then start to compare these benchmarks against different types of stores, and whether they're older stores or on a retail park or in a mall, whatever it is. And that can help inform where we are. So we've got smart meters, we've got smart technology. All we need now is smart people. Thank you.